하루가 정말
Today
길게
is a
느껴지는 것
long
같습니다.
day,
하나생명이
and
이
you're having
경기를
another
가져가면서
full set series Hana
두
Life
번째
versus
매치도
Damwon
끝까지
Gaming.
세 번째
그렇죠.
경기까지 보게 되었습니다. 어떻게 보면 뱀픽에서는 특별한 게 없었는데
Well, there was nothing to
좀
say
세나
about
탐켄치가
the
게임을
draft.
거듭하면
Senna and
거듭할수록 계속해서
Tomkins,
티어가 올라가는 그런
throughout
느낌이
the
들어요.
LCK,
왜냐하면
well, it's getting climbing up the tier list in LCK currently. And up against Cassiopeia, they went with a very aggressive bot lane comp.
그랬는데 게임 안에서는 약간 탑
So
쪽을
in
플레이하면서
game, they actually rather focused on the top side. So Cube was getting a lot of support from Haru, so that's not a very typical game style coming out of the teammates from Cube, but this time around, he had his junglers back. The Aphelios does not have a really hard push ability in the early phase, and also during the laning phase, it's actually not having a good time up against Tomkins, to be honest. So they shouldn't really focus on lane priority in terms of Aphelios, but actually Damwon made a mistake over there, and also there were a lot of accidents happening on the top side. So J4 started on the blue buff and countered jungle their red buff as well. So they had to keep in mind of the potential jungle path coming out of Elise. However, it was so easy for Hana Life players to just pick up a kill over there, and then they did not stop there. So, well, if that gank didn't really work out, it could be a waste of time from Haru, but, well, Haru got a kill for consecutive times, so it was totally worth it. So, well, looking at the picks, maybe Damwon players thought that Haru would be playing around the bot side. However, well, Haru was really clever, putting a different card on the board, so he tried a different thing outside of the box, so Damwon players was not able to play into their new kind of strategy. So after Cube got so fad with 3 kills or 4 kills in the laning phase, he even roamed down to the mid lane, shutting down Showmaker. So mid and jungle are really important in terms of all game, but for mid and jungle to perform well, actually all the other laners have to do their work fully during the laning phase as well. But Damwon, Noguri fell down the cliff during the laning phase, so Damwon was not able to gain any kind of momentum in game number 2. Well, at this point of the game, actually Hana was not focused on game, so actually Cube was getting picked up over there. So Damwon on the other end was having a really great start. And Tempt, he walked over the ward, so he was also picked up. However, the positioning from Nuclear was not really that okay. Well, maybe Damwon player thought that they were playing 3 versus 5, but well, Nuclear was exposed to any potential CC chain coming out of Hana Life Esports. So with that shutdown coming out of Nuclear, Hana Life was able to kind of reach out to Damwon Gaming. So there was no reason at all for Nuclear to stand in that position as an AD carry. If they managed to pull that dragon fight really well, if Damwon did, well, actually Damwon could have had the momentum to turn the game around, but with that mistake of positioning, Hana Life was not letting Damwon Gaming to have the game. But this game was full of accidents and actions, so it was really entertaining to watch. So let's check out who got the player of the game in game number 2. Haru and Elise making that successful ganks in the early phase for consecutive times, and then that pickup an Aphelios during the Dragon try was so critical. Even though after Noguri got a shutdown kill on set, well, right after that, Haru assassinated Noguri, getting away with a kill over there.
하루 선수가 이런 플레이를 보면 굉장히 기쁘지 않을까 생각이 듭니다.
네,
So
그리고
with
또
strong
개인적으로
laners and
생각하는
support
게
coming from the jungle, Hanwha Life Esports was able to get another win to extend the series to game number 3. Another 9 votes POG coming out for today's series. So, Haru was undoubtedly the player of the game for game number 2.
근접 챔피언이 많이 나올수록 편한데 지금 메타 같은 경우는 사거리
So in the current meta, it's all about the range competition. So that's the reason why Elise is on the lower tier list. However, well, there were a lot of short range champions in this game, and also Haru was really clever playing this piloting this champion. So that was not the matter for Hanwha Life Esports in this game. So let's check out who will pick up the final win in game number 3.
Thank you so much, Jisun, for your analyst desk translation once again. And here we are for the penultimate game of day 2 of week 4. Haru picking up a well-deserved player of the game, 9 out of 9. We are all in sync today.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like there have been so many 9 out of 9s.
I guess it's just really obvious who's gonna pick up the player of the game for the majority of these games. You know, there's one player that's really popping off more so than the other ones. There have been a couple that were like 6 out of 9, but other than that, we've been kind of all on the same page, and perhaps we can all put it together for one more game, as these players will have to.
We'll see who pops off in this one. See whether it is going to be Hanwha Life able to stick with their main roster once again and bring it home, or whether DAMWON are going to pivot from what was happening in game number 2. And once again, we are going to see DAMWON on the red side. So far, red side has been 100% win rate in this series. And if DAMWON wins, that is going to continue. So let's see what happens in the ban phase as we jump into the ban and pick for game number 3. Zoe and Aphelios taken off the board. Aphelios seeing that ban away is going to allow DAMWON to pivot from how the last game worked. And we'll see whether Senna Tam Kench is just going to be locked in for DAMWON here. They could do it, or they could ban away a portion of the combo.
Yeah, I mean, we did have the Senna ban, I believe, in one of these games.
In the first
game number
one,
1, yeah.
The blue side ban.
Where they did deny it. There's that you have to watch out for. Are we going to see the healers coming through? What about Soraka, Yuumi? Maybe they take away the Olaf so that DAMWON can't respond with Soraka Olaf to a first pick Yuumi like they did in game number 1.
I think the first pick Soraka would have been smarter.
Yeah.
Out of DAMWON. They are going to ban away the Renekton, so Yuumi going to be available. The Soraka going to be available. Set is available. A lot of options here for both of these teams. As the Senna and the Tam Kench both untouched also. As 10 seconds to go, DAMWON thinking about what the priority is going to be. As far as taking away one of these champions, I think Yumi's probably the easiest one to just take away from Lehens. Maybe they want to funnel them into taking that champion anyway, as that's the set ban. Soraka is up, Yuumi is up, Senna and Tam Kench are both up.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting. You take the Senna away, and then maybe you call DAMWON's bluff. You say, you're probably not going to pick both Yuumi and Soraka, are you? And are you just going to give us Senna Tam Kench? Are you okay with that? So it kind of throws a really difficult question towards DAMWON. It looks like
the Yuumi Tam Kench lane. Let's do it. Give it to me.
Oh, God. That sounds pretty awful.
Yeah.
But maybe we could see that here. 4 and 8 is Yuumi so far. Not the best win rate for a champion that is relatively highly prized in the LCK in its current state. I think we should have 10-4 next week, actually. So we have 2 weeks of 10-3.
Yeah, I think so. As it's MF Yuumi locked in here for DAMWON. That's their chosen lane to go into the obvious Senna Tam Kench. That's going to be down there once again. And we'll see whether Senna Tam Kench with the farming Tam is going to continue its high win rate, as we have a pivot as Ezreal Senna is being considered.
And it will be taken here from the side of Hanwha Life, so I suppose they say, aha, we got you. You thought we were going to play Senna Tam Kench, but in fact, we are not. We are going to go for the Ezreal and perhaps a Lee Sin for Haru, who's feeling pretty confident after his player of the game,
Jarvan. I think it's a Jarvan. I think that's what's going to be locked in.
Oh, okay.
I'm just making the call.
I thought you were
was
saying that's
bit of a
Jarvan. I'm
non
like,
sequitur.
that's not Jarvan.
Nah, it's Lee Sin. Yeah, but I think Jarvan's going to be the answer here. 8 seconds to go, DAMWON. What are they going to play? Canyon certainly does have a pretty extended champion pool and might want to change things up. Could also go towards the Elise himself, and it is going to change it, heading back to one of his old favorites in the Sejuani. Was one of our off-meta Sejuani players alongside Tarzan. And I think now we're probably going to ban away something like the Azir, because Sejuani Azir has been a combo that's been much loved for quite a while, and it's likely that Showmaker's champion is going to be what's locked in next. Cab off the rank. LeBlanc going to be taken away.
Yep, LeBlanc.
LeBonkers.
Yeah. He's not going to be able to donk off with a bunch of kills in this game. Still undefeated in the LCK. But yeah, we got to target the mid laners and top laners. So all the solo laners that you can potentially take off the board here. Echo's going to be another one. Maybe the Rumble could be targeted here.
Yep.
And you got to consider what DAMWON might want to pick first on red side. Maybe like Aatrox or something like that. Something that can flex into both mid and top, depending on what you see out of Hanwha's last couple of picks.
I really hope it's not Aatrox. That made me very sad in game number 1. But now I guess not up against the set. As Azir is going to be banned on red. Interesting. Showmaker having a different idea as to what he wants to play. With Sejuani, it does sort of lead to, much like the Camille, more of these melee style of solo lanes, whether it be in the mid lane or the top lane, and Showmaker is an adept melee player in mid, even in range versus melee matchups. See where they do decide to go. Maybe Showmaker's Akali's going to come out again, even though her kneecaps are removed. Not going to happen. Syndra taken away.
I like the Syndra a lot better than the Orianna. It feels like she can have a lot more versatility in the early stages of the game and doesn't just, you know, kind of sit there and farm. Actually has some ability to 100-0 someone. The Camille ban kind of makes you think they're going to go for the Aatrox, which makes me wonder why DAMWON didn't just take that away, but it seems like they want to save the hard counter pick for Nuguri here in game number 3.
Yep.
And I can't really argue with that, to be honest.
He could go Fiora. Nuguri does like that sort of style of play. But Kayle also fits into a composition that does have a Yuumi on top of it, as that is the Rumble that you were talking about. Not surprising that Tempt goes back to that pick that he was pretty successful on in game number 2. Swain. Okay.
Not Swain, please. I hope it's also not Gnar. It's another champion he's played a couple times and lost.
Aurelia and Sejuani is an old favorite combo.
True.
And that's going to be locked in for Nuguri towards the top side. I like when you've got sort of these hard carry style champions like the Aurelia, because they do allow for Yuumi to become even more powerful, right? If you think about the Vanguard's Edge paired with that last chapter, it's very, very scary.
You know who got totally overlooked in this draft was Soraka.
Yeah.
Just not banned, not picked at all.
I actually like that DAMWON didn't last pick it, because yes, it might have an okay laning phase into the Aatrox, but you'll be lacking damage. But interesting that they didn't try to build around it. And let's see what is going to eventuate here in a far closer draft, in my personal opinion. The Ezreal Senna going to be a different take on how this lane is going to function. Just a little bit more poke heavy, a little bit less sustain based, and not going to be quite as tanky with this roster. Certainly looking a little bit more like Sinners this time around.
Their mid game is quite strong.
Yeah.
You consider Ezreal with a couple of items, Leandri's X for the Rumble, Cuvée, if he can get things started, and even Lee Sin in the mid game can be pretty nice. Decent pick potential. Whereas on this side, I feel like they have a bit more scaling with the Aurelia and the MF.
And a great 4-1 composition as well, coming out with Nuguri in a side lane, which is how DAMWON do like to play. Showmaker will have the wave clear in the mid lane with bullet time there in a pinch if they need to just eradicate some of the waves. Let's see how DAMWON are going to be able to play it out, though, as we get onto the Rift, with Hanwha having so much momentum. moving into this one, and they do have the center once again, now piloted by Lehens, who is one of our more successful center support players in the early weeks of Senna's Korean debut, which was the Casper Cup.
Spotted coming into the jungle.
Yeah.
15G goes to Beryl. GG.
Nailing it. Beryl also with the Ignite instead of the Exhaust. Ignite Heal was the beginnings of what Yuumi decided to take very early on. And the Exhaust did take over in pro play, most definitely. Just understanding that Grievous Wounds could be useful against the Piercing Darkness. It's going to be plaguing the bottom side. Lehens with the Guardian as well on the center is an odd choice. Often we do see, even when it is support center, the Glacial Augment. There's Canyon waiting over to the side, and that's a face check. Nuclear might have to flash very early on. Q lands as Nuclear flashes himself out, but Haru gets out very, very quickly. Like that one, didn't have to use his flash or anything like that, as Canyon is going to mirror this path.
Yeah.
Wanders over a ward, and this is already a great start for Hanwha.
Absolutely. It's such a Hanwha-like move as well. Just it's like the one-up, right? They're like, okay, they're going to think that we're invading, but instead of actually killing the blue buff right away, let's wait in the brush that Canyon and team are going to check first and try to push them away with some surprise damage. And it worked perfectly according to plan. It's like, okay, they know we're invading 100% now. Maybe we can make use of the information we just gave them. And so a great start here for the jungle. Take a look at Canyon. He's just now trying to kill that red buff, so he's going to be incredibly behind. Sejuani loves to hit level 6 and try to affect lanes, but not having a good time of that.
Yeah, he's going to find Haru here. And gets a lot of damage down. Lands the next orb as well, so Safeguard not going to be enough, as Tempt is just ignoring the fact that his jungler is being taken down to 200 health right in front of his face. Buying time, I guess, as Lehens is trying to get some poke damage down, but Zoomies is going to stop any of that. Good stun, as Showmaker is pretty happy to have a little bit of lane control here in the mid lane. Now on the very comfortable early pick in the Syndra. And Scrap Shield got a little bit nerfed on 10-3, and Tempt is feeling it right now. I haven't seen Showmaker miss a Dark Sphere in this lane, as Nogri moving on down, gets the smite, does Haru, so that health bar is going to be back to a more comfortable position.
Very curious to see how this bottom lane is going to do with the Senna. Just if they can have total lane dominance so far. Obviously, with Nuclear having to back extremely early and TP back to lane, they are going to have the advantage there. Whereas in the top lane, Nuguri should be ahead in this 1v1.
Yeah, should be able to use a lot of his damage mitigation quite effectively against the Aatrox as well. As Canyon moves on over towards his top side, we'll say hi to Agatha. You and Me comes on in. Nuclear is going to be absolutely fine alongside Beryl. But you can see double the CS now for Vista. He's having a real good time. There's Noguri, Ione and Ferber stacking up. And there's the flash in as Noguri looking for it, but doesn't quite find it. Oh god, no. That is not the Noguri we were expecting, and First Blood goes over to Cuvée.
Well, they got dove a bunch of times, and they said, how about we try it ourselves? Our Sejuani's level 3. Can only get the stun off, but Nuguri was way too late to try to get on in there and land his own stun. And he just got made to look the fool, as Cuvée nicely pulling off the survival. 2v1 underneath that one. Lands the Infernal Chains, is able to dodge out of the stun coming from Aurelia. And once that didn't land, we knew it was all over for Nuguri, who was kind of floundering around under the turret afterwards.
Well, this bottom lane is crushing DWG right now. On Hanwha's side, 41-20 is the CS advantage. Feels like it's only going to get worse as this game goes on as well, as there's a stun in the mid lane. But we'll have a look at the pro view here. Nuguri avoids a bunch of the Qs. Yeah. That was not a flawless duet. That was what we call a flawed duet.
괜찮은데?
From Noguri.
야, 큐베! 나이스! 너무 잘했다! 나이스. 이래 로플, 사이드 로플.
He did really well.
That's so
And
cute.
he did.
He did.
That little movement plus the dash to the right side was allowed him to survive. I saw Canyon thinking about coming up here again. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Didn't work out last time. Don't know why it's going to be any different this time, but Noguri's still with a decent CS advantage. As there we go, that's the flawless duet that we were hoping for last time, but Cube takes basically 0 damage with his Ninja Tabi already done. And yes, there's an Executioner's calling, but not a lot of healing to be worried about when you don't take damage in the first place. So already a great start for Hanwha. Approximately 1,000 gold is going to be the lead as Ocean Drake looking to be taken here by Hanwha with the help of Lehens, who moves on up. Vista taking the more early game approach with the Sheen pickup instead of rushing towards a tier. It's going to slow down that stacking, but will allow your laning phase to continue being strong, which I certainly respect after what he's been able to do thus far in this lane. Lehens moves on over. He's going to clear out a control ward here. And you can see the bottom side of the map is owned by Hanwha. Absolutely.
Yeah, especially with the amount of time that Canyon's spending up towards the top side. He's essentially taken the left side of Lee Sin's jungle to be his own.
Yep.
As Lee Sin has given it up for donation. As he's gone for dragons, he's snuck around down on the bottom side on Vision. And so Canyon knows that he can go for it. Still not level 6 are either of these junglers though, so no big-time ganks going to be coming in here. There's just the failed dive in the top side that gives Hanwha Life the lead, plus the obvious big CS gap in the bottom side. 25 CS already. 7.5 minutes.
Yeah, that is a big one. Has sort of stabilized just a little bit, as Nuclear's been able to pick up most of the last few waves, but see, Showmaker still able to just shove this wave in regardless of how many minions he has missed. Lehens is being frustrated towards the bottom lane of DAMWON. And look, Noguri's still winning as far as farm, but unfortunately it's just not working, and in comes Haru now. World Ender does come forward as there's the ult out of Noguri. Flawless Duet comes forward as very close to getting the next one, but doesn't have the reset on the Q, and Haru's going to survive. 1-0-1 now for Cuvée on the Aatrox, and Noguri's having a disaster of a game.
Yeah, I mean, if you get ahead at all, why not just camp Nuggery? I mean, it's like it's the 1800s, and you're going on the gold rush, right? You just want to go where the gold is, and that's in the top lane.
I'm Australian. I understand that reference.
Yeah, and I mean, if he's gonna push so far up the lane in that manner, why not? Just punish him for it over and over again. Now, Lee Sin was not level 6, which made things a lot more dicey. It almost got turned around 1v2, which Aurelia can do from time to time, but all calculated is what Haru would say as he picks up level 6 on the kill and the minion afterwards. And it was good timing, too. They had to go for it there even before Lee Sin was level 6 because Nuggery's flash was about to come off cooldown. So they knew he was going to be playing super aggressively. Even without flash, you just move up through the lane, and you make it as easy of a gank as you'd like.
Well, now, Noguri, that 0-2 power spike that we talk about all the time has come in. And last game, it just was awful, as Bramble Vest is done as well for Cuvée. He's aiming to be as difficult to kill as possible, which is going to work out, because Noguri is going to try his very best to kill him as often as possible. Great defensive vision here for Cuvée, as he might even dash over that wall, does so, to move towards the minion wave a little bit more easily. Tempted Showmaker just farming up against one another. Showmaker ahead by a few CS, but this lane is not what this game is about at the moment. Okay, at least that one landed from Noguri.
Landing
got a phase now as well.
Quickly realizing, oh wait, I can't fight this guy. I've died twice. Although I don't know if he ever actually fully realizes that fact, as he'll probably go in for more and more kills here fourth. As let's see if the bottom lane is going to get any help here as Sejuani's making her way.
Yeah, Canyon, level 7 now, so we'll have That ultimate available. Lahen's going to immediately cleanse out of that one, but he's going to die. Canyon grabs that kill. You can see Beryl celebrating by diving on top of his jungler. Juve now getting dive ready as Haru's going to be taking Shelly down. Flawless Duet comes in as Juve gets out of the way of turret aggro. And Noguri is able to lock down the cannon minion at least. Unleash power still available here for Showmaker as DAMWON want to try and deny this. It's down to 200 health. Haru with the solo, knocks out her eye, down to 27 health, and now, with 3 members here, it looks like Haru will be taken out. He collected the eye though, so got that one going for him.
Nice try, Lahens, trying to help from the bottom lane. That didn't quite pan out.
Yeah.
As he even had a Yumi on his back, so the Zoomies able to get Canyon there on time.
It's nowhere near the extended lead of the last time around, as that's Vanguard's edge. Cube not going to break any of the sides of it, as Noguri uses the majority of his mana at that stage, and now looks to go back home. 12 is still the CS gap, but talking about CS gaps, it's much larger down here towards the bottom side. 30 CS is the lead for Vista, who, as a reminder, guys, was a sub-support.
Take a look here. I mean, there's zero vision in the red side jungle for Hanwha Life. Like, Canyon just strolled on through the jungle, so really easy setup there. And then they just knew that Haru would be up here onto the Rift Heralds. Maybe they were considering taking it themselves. Maybe he ran over the Scuttle Crab that gave the vision. Either way, it became quickly obvious that's where the Lee Sin would be, and they were able to take him out on top of that. So a couple of kills for DAMWON, trying to pull the gold back into not so much of a lead. Only 500 gold is the difference now, but still in favor of Hanwha.
Yep. Noguri's going to be able to grab himself a plate here, most likely, as Cube a little bit late to getting towards this lane, as Hanwha, they're just going to double down on their victory bottom side with the first turret going over to Vista. Haru grabbing a bit of that gold as well, as Bertha is going to be his next target. Nuclear coming back down, he vacated this lane as they knew that it was given up to the Ghost. And yeah, Shelly's going to get skirted, taken down, so the double charge is going to be denied. 12.5 minutes into this game, second Drake going to be taken here as Hanwha. Are we heading towards another?
Infernal would be massive.
Soul, and yes, it is going to be Infernal Soul once again.
Infernal's so good for both of these teams. When we just look at it, it's pretty insane. I think there's a little bit more poke, but even then, marginally so on the side of Hanwha Life. So it's going to be pretty nice for DAMWON, who can add that little bit of extra damage every 3 seconds if they can manage to somehow turn this game around.
Yep.
And yeah, that's definitely a lot more exciting than the Cloud Soul. I think the Cloud Soul potentially you could just say, okay, maybe we don't have to fight over this, but Infernal Soul, no doubt DAMWON will have to make a move if Hanwha try to take that down.
Yep. Showmaker now defending in the mid lane as the Ezreal sets up shop there, as he is wont to do after his turret falls down. And it's a little bit of an early clip for that one, as we've got a Rumble versus Misfortune bottom lane matchup. Looks like Nuclear now sitting by himself with minion waves to catch that Tempt's been throwing back at him. He is able to even out this CS margin just a little bit, as Showmaker is at least farming extraordinarily well. Sitting at 153 at 14 minutes is no slouch at all. But Noguri with Canyon in tow, trying to do something to Cube here as he darts around the minion wave. Barrel's going to turn up as well. In they go, Canyon. I think, yeah. Don't know whether they were spotted out.
Nope. No pings came out from the blue team, only from the red team, so very sneaky maneuver here from the side of DAMWON. Can Cube sniff it out is the question. He's going to face check the Tri-Brush instead, as push is happening here in the mid lane, and oh boy.
Oh dear. Who's caught who is the real question here, as in goes Noguri with the Blade Surge. Haru is in, but it is a 2 versus 3 right now. Final chapter is great over both members. Good kickback as Cube in a bit of trouble, and Noguri taking a lot of damage. Flashes over and takes down the kill as now Lahen's is his next target, but they are taken down. True Shot Barrage into Narnia there for Vista. Finds absolutely no one, as it's 1-for-1, both top laners dead.
Just a crazy fight back and forth there. A bunch of weird and wacky teleports and flashes out of there. And it ends up at the end just being pretty even. All things considered, the two top laners do go down. Hanwha try to push in the mid lane, but easily going to be answered here by DAMWON. Gold lead, not changing much after that. I feel like we should be in a pretty similar situation.
What? Showmaker going 1v2 as Lehens does get the heal back with that Piercing Darkness. Use that cleanse as well. So Showmaker certainly feeling feisty at this stage with his Super Soaker online. You don't want this water fight.
Yeah, if he could just get one more damage item, he's going to really be popping off here. As we take another look at the replay, Haru saving his kick until a lot had been used here on the side of DAMWON, and Nuguri was taking a really long time to enter the fight. He was very apprehensive. Eventually does pick up the kill, but Lehens on the Senna, stronger than you'd imagine. I don't know what Vista was trying to ult there.
Yeah.
Maybe he was trying to ult into, you know, his next team's games in a couple of days, but
he was ulting into the past.
Yeah, they did not hit anything, and it was a little bit disappointing. Wouldn't have changed the outcome too much. Nope. Perhaps it was a very delayed reaction to trying to catch Aurelia. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe he was already charging it before Aurelia was dead. Not entirely sure, but it did look a little bit comical as the dust settles. Speaking of Vista, he is very, very close to collecting his Trinity Force. Just needs to turn that longsword into a phage, and then pay the 3-3-3 afterwards, as Showmaker now looking for Vista and kills him. Just straight up 1 versus 2. Not enough Piercing Darkness available there for Lehens. And, you know, Syndra, everyone.
Yeah.
That's called getting game played.
She picks up an early kill that allows her to get a needlessly arched rod, which then snowballs into being able to one-combo squishies at this point of the game, as there is no magic resist at all on the side of the Ezreal.
Yep.
And so just like that, I mean, you're just going to die if you don't take necessary precautions. You can't be that close to get comboed, or you got to build MR, or you got to try not to, you know, give any kills to the Syndra. And Vista and his team did none of those options.
Well, Miss Piggy running around with her little cat in tow. Did spy some people towards that bottom side, as now Cube and Noguri are fighting. I think we'll have a flawless duet available once again, and all the Dawning Shadow working out in favor of Cube. It was one auto attack from Noguri, but he's unable to grab it. Cube just a little bit too far ahead.
Yeah, able to get all those stacks of the Black Cleaver down, and was eventually doing some pretty nice damage to
Bramble Vest power right there, Valdez.
With the Ninja Tab as well. If this was LS, he'd say, well, if he had a Trinity Force, they wouldn't even need it, the Piercing Light or whatever it's called, as coming on in now.
Yeah, Showmaker in a hell of a lot of trouble. He's just going to be taken down. Vista gets his revenge, and now Canyon trying to get away from there, has to flash to get over the wall. The last chapter does come in, and now Hanwha Life are going to threaten the Infernal Soul. I love that. The brute force takeaway of that dragon. And Hanwha showing that they still have control of this game.
Yeah, you got to be careful when you do not have your flash available as a Syndra. You might feel like a god with 2 kills on your back, but still got to respect the amount of burst damage.
Where was that Q going, Cube? Arctic Assault going to get Canyon out of there, so no harm, no foul. More turret damage coming in. Even the center helping out very, very well, as the Executioner's calling also to deny the healing of the Yuumi, which is why it's been purchased. So we have a look at this 1v1 once again. Felt like Noguri might be able to actually win out on this one, as you see at this point. But the Vanguard's Edge is going to dissipate before any of the edges actually worked out, and the Blade Surge not able to get enough of that Trinity Force damage in there. And the Dawning Shadow really tipping it over the edge.
Take a look here. They're just baited by stopwatch. Again, Haru lives with this stopwatch, and Syndra is halfway down the river. And Tempt was actually a really sneaky rumble. I don't know how you hide that gigantic mecha suit in the bush, but he was able to do it and caught the Syndra by surprise. She did not have flash at the time, and that ended up being the kill into the Dragon Take. So now they're on soul points because of Haru's bait with the best item in the game, stopwatch.
You get so triggered by that.
It's so good. It's such a good item.
Yeah.
And to think it's free in your runes if you just
I know.
decide to pick
All
that up.
you need is to be a bit inspirational.
Yeah.
all
I'm
you
very
need.
inspired after all of these days casting the LCK.
All of these stopwatches.
The amount of times stopwatch saves a team and wins them a game, like not even exaggerating.
Oh no, it's ludicrous.
It's not even about like one kill. It's like it totally changes the tide of the fight.
Yep.
Pretty insane.
Well, we got a final chapter being thrown down here as Teleport comes in. Haru surviving for a very long time, but now Teleport not exactly what they want. I believe it got interrupted as Nuclear. What are you doing there, my friend? He's going to get taken down, but now can Noguri find the fight? Oh, the flawless duet's fantastic. That's going to get the double kill for Noguri, who is now feeling so much more online. Now looking to chase after Tempt, who has to flash to get over the wall. And Noguri, I don't know what happened. He's flipped the switch, and now he's looking to carry.
Yeah, they've made him too angry. They poked the bear one too many times, and he says, now I'm going to make you pay. Lands the perfect flawless duet onto the back line after using the Aatrox as just the connector into the back line. Yeah.
And now they're going to take too much damage from the Baron, so not going to be able to lock that one down. But, you know, 21.5 minutes is a little early in this game to grab an objective like that.
I want to see how Nuclear gets where he got.
Oh, he was looking for a position to bullet time and then finds himself in a very unfortunate position, gets equalized, and then, yeah, you can understand why he was there after everything, but, I mean, he shouldn't have started off making that decision.
Aatrox
This
taxi,
was beautiful.
Double flawless duet right onto the two squishies. Just couple of snaps of his fingers and immediately the bot lane disappears. You thought things were looking down when Nuclear inted into the enemy jungle. They were not, because Nuguri is still a champion in this game.
No, he's a player.
Oh, true.
Yeah, Aurelia's
right.
champion.
Aurelia is champion in this game.
That's all right. It's getting late. I'm
Yeah.
feeling it as well. As damage dealt, Noguri is still winning. 11,000 so far in this one. As it's mostly been going into the ether, just smacking down onto Cuvée, who's building towards Death's Dance. Even into the Executioner's Calling that Noguri's already completed. Steric's Gauge is done, so first 2 items for Noguri. And increasing the base damage when you're a Sheen user. Pretty damn good.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Certainly works out very, very well. Probably going to be something like a Guardian Angel to come in next. And then Noguri's going to be well and truly online.
He had 2 ruby crystals and then he made that full item after the last team fight, by the way. You can see the mountains are slowly falling down on the goal difference over time graph.
Yep.
Now it's all about that Drake. Infernal Soul points for the side of Hanwha Life.
Yeah, I have a feeling that DAMWON will not let this one go without a pretty big fight. As I will see what Nuclear's positioning is going to be like, as Control Ward is going to be spotted. Barrel's going to help take that one down. Nuclear not even allowed to shoot it. There's 3 seconds, and that Infernal is going to turn up. Vision going down. DAMWON not going to get flanked this time. They are now moving into the river. See what kind of funny business is going to occur here as the River Ram is beginning. River Ram?
River Ram.
You're better at it than I am.
You know, I'm from America, so...
Yeah, the Native Americanness
Yeah, it's
really
like a
helping you out.
passive bonus,
Yeah.
right?
Well, oh, great stun to come through from the Glacial Prison as now Cuvé's not allowed to play League of Legends. Canyon tanking up a lot. Great equalizer into the backline there as Haru does lock down Miss Piggy, but Noguri's there with a whole lot of extra damage and now has a cat on a book behind him. Who's going to be his next target? Well, it probably would have been Lehens, but he snares him up. And DAMWON deny the Infernal Soul, and if they keep stacking these up, Valdez, remember, it's going to be a 4-stack Infernal.
Yeah.
That's real scary, especially when Noguri is playing this late-game split-pushing monster of Aurelia.
And Showmaker had the one mistake around the previous Dragon, but since then, he's been really on point, 4, 1, and 3 right now. But that one ultimate at Sejuani, straight onto Haru, is what secures them the Drake. Cuvée being that far forward was a bit of a mistake, as Haru is going to execute Canyon with his foot, but ends up flashing way too deep into the enemy team.
I think he knew that that was going to be a kick of no return. absolutely. But unfortunately for them, it's not actually able to result in anything good for them. Noguri going up to 4-4-0 now. He does like inting and winning, this guy, and so far it's looking like it's working out with a 1,500 gold lead. Vista comes on over, takes away the blue buff from Lehens, who set that one up for him. He's got his QSS done. And looking over the other side, Nuclear with his first 2 items are completed as well. DAMWON finally find themselves in the lead as far as gold. We'll see whether that is going to change after the next fight. As Noguri sets up shop towards the bottom side, somehow he's got a level advantage over Cuvée.
And it is the tides being turned in the side lane. Yes, you can make him look silly in the early game. You can shut him down multiple times with ganks. But Noguri really doesn't care about that.
Oh, Blast Cone actually going to work against Cuvée there as Noguri. He can get on in here as the last chapter does come down. Equalizes in there as well as the Aurelia double kill was gigantic. Can he make it a triple as Tempt is flashing to get on out of there? Prowling projectile finds Vista, gets a bit of a slow as Noguri dives on in. Oh, it's a brilliant stun into the backline, but Showmaker only has a Super Soaker to offer anything. Nuclear survives for a very long time as Noguri is missed by the True Shot barrage. And yeah, this Aurelia is getting so scary. A 700 gold bounty on the back of the inting player for the first few minutes.
Yeah, remember the first 10 minutes, it was a 0-2 Aurelia, and really awkward spot here for Canyon, and actually the Yumi on his back. They say, please help us, Senpai Aurelia, and eventually Senpai does agree, just rolls face over all of them. Aurelia loves these broken up fights where you take down one by one.
Also loves having a Yumi on his back as well
yeah,
as, oh man, the flawless duet was exactly that. He had one bogus ultimate, and since then he has been landing the clinches in this game.
Yeah, just able to land them, but unfortunately not quite able to follow, as actually a nice amount of disengage poke on the side of Hanwha Life. They're great at keeping them at a distance, but now Noguri has a count on the book, and he has GA.
And the most gold in the game.
Yeah.
The 0-2 power spike really did come to fruition
Classic
in this game.
Noguri.
Yeah. My God, int it to win it. Beautiful. Love this strategy. I actually do want to say, all jokes aside, that Noguri's play, is really impressive. For a young guy, you know, often you can have a play like he had in the early game and then really switch off. But he's taken it as a challenge to play even better. And it's really great to see. Not allowing that one to tilt him into oblivion. Cuvée spotted on this control ward. Looking to take that one down as Bertha is going to be Canyon's sole objective. And the control ward going to be replaced immediately. Blue buff will be secured by Showmaker. Certainly has the best blue secure in the game as he picks it up, throws it away. Now, 36 seconds until another chance for this Infernal Soul for Hanwha Life. Another possible team fight. Q lands onto Showmaker. This is one that Haru might want to take, actually. Showmaker does have a stopwatch, remember. Still sitting in his back pocket. DAMWON all grouped as 5. The Ripper Ram coming in here as Canyon thinks this is the time to go. Dawning Shadow doing a lot of work, but the bullet time is fantastic. Into the backline goes Noguri, grabs his first one. Showmaker has already made short work of Cuvée as Noguri's trying to mitigate that damage as best that he can, but the damage has been done. 2 easy picks for DAMWON, and they should be able to lock this one down unless Haru can get a miracle steal onto this Infernal Drake. Over the wall, though, the vision is there, and the Drake is taken. 2 now for DAMWON, and that's starting to actually affect how much AP and AD these DAMWON players have.
Was a pretty crazy and messy fight there, but what I saw was Hanwha Life running straight at an MF that was bullet timing them with an Aurelia in the back line that got the Vanguard's edge on pretty much everybody that was squishy. So exactly what you would hope for from DAMWON, as they're going to start up the Baron here at the same time and then decide not to.
Yeah, not what they're wanting to do at this point in the game. Not feeling like they're strong enough. For some reason, I actually thought that they might have had an opportunity to get onto that Baron right there, but deciding not to in the end. Only ahead by close to 4,000 gold. But at 30 minutes, that's not the kind of lead that you're really going to write home about.
We gotta try to break this down once again as they get the initial stun onto Cube, and they just try to burst him down. But look at Nuguri at the top, and it's like an X. They have them from both sides as the kick. Wow, I didn't even notice that.
No.
He just actually killed his support just like that. I love that the observer saw it and was like, oh, by the way,
Yeah,
let's all laugh at Haru for his mistake. Like, let's really zoom in on this one.
Yeah, I
Taking
mean, I
the
can
Lee Sin
understand.
taxi.
I could understand trying to kick that crazy big Aurelia out of the back of the fight, to be honest.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
panic kick coming in for Haru there, who now holds on to this blue buff, gives it over to Vista. And you can see the center as far away from the Lee Sin as possible at this stage. DAMWON now just clearing out vision around this Baron, which is where they're going to turn their attention to for the next 3 minutes at least. They're wanting to deny this Infernal Soul for as long as possible. Haru, wow. That was one hell of a miss as Arctic Assault gets Canyon out of there, but unable to take down the control ward. But we've got bounties aplenty over on DAMWON's side. Over 4,000 gold is now the lead, as DAMWON have been able to really put their claws in after that one fight. We've almost got a Flame Horizon for Nuguri as well.
Where did this come from? He's just like, don't worry, guys. I'm going to scale much better than the Aatrox. It doesn't matter how many times I die. And
I mean, that is true,
It's
right? We
true.
do have to go back to just the champion matchup, and theoretically, Aatrox should win earlier, and Aurelia should manage to catch up in the later game, but I've never seen it this pronounced.
I know.
Let's just say that.
it's, oh man, it's
He's brutally He's got himself a frozen heart for some reason as well.
kind of reminds me of
40%
that,
CDR completed.
that overly positive guy in solo queue that's like, don't worry, guys, it's okay.
We've got it in the late
I'm going to
game."
scale. It's like 23-3.
Yeah.
Not this game, okay?
That's me, man. That's me.
23-3. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to outscale the Aatrox, but then he actually does it, and then he's like the hero of the team.
Oh, yeah. He
Where
gets
in the
the honors
beginning,
immediately.
He's like just annoying, and you're like, no, man, this is over. Just surrender. Save some time. But
Look at all these Baron pings coming in from Humble Life. They do not want that one to be taken here, as no stun to come through from Nuclear, as Canyon getting the ultimate over the top. Nuguri looking for Cube. He's going to be their first target as he goes golden in the backline, but no one can actually follow up as the final chapter is there. Showmaker grabs that kill in the end, and DAMWON have not lost a fight in the last 15 minutes. As Nuguri looking to go 1 versus 4, but he has the backup of his team. Haru eaten with the bullet time as Vista is taken down in short order, and the whole bottom lane taken out as well, as DAMWON will secure that one. Inner turret now going to be next. In the eyes of this DAMWON squad, they should be able to take an inhibitor, move back, take a Baron, and then win this game.
Hanwha Life not really paying attention to the way the game was going. 4v1, I think he might actually lose to the Aurelia. Not to mention his entire team was still there.
And he's
So-
got GA, right?
Yeah,
so
and he has
everyone
GA.
can follow up as, yeah, this is the end of the game. Tempt is going to go golden, but he's just going to see his death. Double kill comes through from Nuguri. This is what we call inting it to win it. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Great turnaround. Mental fortitude from Nuguri as well. We know that this guy's emotional, but he used his emotion for the better this game. He looked hungry to take down Hanwha Life.
And we see our cameraman is going to give him MVP, and I think everybody else is going to as well. The guy
I'm
has
on the
been
bandwagon.
such a mainstay for DAMWON for a really long time now, and sometimes he's just got to come out of the death realm, out of the very deep dumps of getting
The deep dumps.
yes, not just camped for one game, but for 2 games in a row, not to mention the one before it was even worse.
Oh, yeah.
To imagine how much mental fortitude he has to be able to stand up and then eventually carry the game is pretty incredible. So
Even
you really got to
after,
hand it
like,
to him.
because the thing is, like, sometimes you can get over a camp, right? Because you are at the mercy of the enemy jungler and the rest of your team isn't helping you and stuff like that, and you can be like, oh, well, I got camped. But they messed up really badly in the early game. I mean, Cube, you could say that he outplayed, but honestly, it looked to me like it was just Canyon and Nuguri not being able to figure out that tower dive and whether or not it would be a good idea. But after that, to be able to say, no, I'm a better player than this, and then turn it all around, really impressive stuff from Nuguri. And good to see that Aurelia is still a power pick towards the top side and does work out still oh so well when paired with the Sejuani. DAMWON drafting quite well in the last game. Hidden shout out also to Beryl, who had probably
Hidden shout out.
Yeah, well, he's a Yumi. He's often pretty
Yeah,
good.
true.
I think he went, didn't die, didn't grab any kills, but got almost all the assists in the game. I think there's an argument for Beryl to get a couple of MVPs throughout this series.
Yeah,
but
he was like 0-0 and 15 or something.
yeah, something
in
like that.
one.
The classic perfect support scoreline.
Feels good.
Yeah. And maybe, just maybe, Hanwha Life should have just locked in Tahm Kench and done the undefeated center Tahm Kench lane that they won with in game 2 that was available.
They could have done it and they decided against it.
Yeah.
Because I guess MF and Yumi are just too strong in the bottom lane.
Well, I guess Ezreal and the center is also very strong, and they were strong. They were able to poke out. They got that turret very, very early, but unfortunately, when you then have two very squishy champions, you're against an Aurelia that force-fed herself in the mid game.
Yeah. As we're going to take a look at some of the highlights here. Nice dodge out of Cuvée. Leaves Nuggery with a really bad spot. At least he didn't miss too much of the wave.
Yeah, he was able to teleport immediately back, so the punishment wasn't huge. As this was largely Beryl. I reckon there's probably going to be a few votes for Beryl. Despite Nuggery having this amazing turnaround. Felt like we were watching one of these movies, you know. The redemption storyline.
It's kind of funny out of Nuclear. I think he's going to probably revisit this moment in his nightmares tonight. But it doesn't matter because Big Brother Nuggery is going to carry me anyway as 1 and 2. And that's the moment where you're like, wait.
Wait a second.
Wasn't this the Aurelia that died under the turret at level 4?
Yep. It was.
Yeah.
As this Vanguard's edge into the back line. Nope, not this one. It's the next fight, I believe. As this one was cute, but Haru finds himself way too deep. And yeah, Infernal Chain working against Cuvée there a little bit because he didn't really want to stay there. As he did have some of his team coming on over, but there are actually two champions there. And Aurelia is real strong when she gets her first couple of resets.
This is the moment right before she goes God mode. It's like, oh, if she had a couple more items and a bit more health, she might have been able to take him out there. But don't you worry, all you Aurelia fans, if you're just watching these highlights. The highlights will come. And there you have it. They're like, oh yeah, we could probably 4v1. The Aurelia, the answer is no.
They didn't even take half of Nuggery's health bar.
Meanwhile, the entire team was right there.
Yeah. See how animated Nuggery is as well.
He's a big talker, for sure.
He certainly is. So coming off their 0-2 against Sandbox, where they honestly look like a shadow of their former selves, they are able to pull it back here against their brethren in 3-3 in the league, solidifying their side on the left or the west of the bracket. Nuggery finishing this one off very, very well. Still retaining his 700 gold bounty. And I have a feeling that he's going to be the MVP. 22.2k.
Yeah.
Not bad.
And to, you know, you might look at the end score and see how many kills he had, and you're like, oh, okay, just a carry Nuggery game. Well,
no.
It goes even deeper than that. It was the quintessential carry Nuggery game because he fed so much early on. As
and it's like, we use the word feeding. We use that mostly in jest because this was Haru spending way more time top lane than he does generally. Often it's Cuvée, much like he was when he was on Gen G or Samsung or whichever iteration of that roster. He often is left on an island. That's no different here in Hanwha, but this time around, especially in game 2 and 3, all of the attention was going towards Nuggery, but yeah, you got to put him real deep in the ground, you know, like 6 feet, not enough. You need like 20 feet.
Even then.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe he crawls back out.
Zombie Nuggery from the grave. That's him, and he is going to pick up the player of the game. He got 6 out of 9 votes. And 3 of the votes went towards Showmaker, 1 from the Korean cast, and the 2 analysts on the analyst desk did vote for Showmaker, who did have quite the early game, but I don't think he was the main catalyst that
It was
drove
certainly
it
very
home,
consistent.
you know?
It was very consistent this game, and I can understand
Sure.
not giving it to Noguri just because he failed so hard in the early game. But honestly, I felt like the way that he managed to turn this around as an emotional player really was deserved of the player of the game. As yeah, that's going to even him out with BDD as the points leader as far as our pod points are concerned.
The only other player that was at 500 is Chovy.
Yep, he hasn't played yet.
Yeah, we'll see how he can do tomorrow. I believe he should be showing up.
Yeah, should be Dragon X coming in tomorrow. We're going to be showing you exactly which going to be our matches. Oh no!
Like,
Noguri
by the
says
way,
thank
if you
you.
guys forgot, like, oh,
that was
hard.
a Haru highlight. That was
Yeah,
that was not a Noguri
I mean, it was
highlight.
a great transport of the Aurelia straight into your
That's
support.
true.
It was
Really,
a great kick. Right
it was
on,
the longest
right
range
on the
blade
line.
surge ever.
Right on the line there. Just it was perfect.
Oh my god!
Field goals.
No, not what we wanted. And this would be the time, guys, that we'd have our post-match interview, but unfortunately, we
Nobody's
do not
there.
have it tonight. So we are going to check out what's happening tomorrow, and then we're going to bid you adieu. As here we are, DAMWON 4-3 now, get themselves with a decent amount of distance from Hanwha Life, who solidifies 6th place. And look, all memes aside, they have been playing quite well so far this season, but it just seems inevitable that Hanwha are 6th.
Hanwha's gonna be 6th for now and 6th forever.
Hey, it's better than being in relegation zone, which was what 2019 was for Hanwha.
Although maybe if you go to relegation zone, you kind of get a kick in the butt, a wake-up call, you know, where it's like, hey,
Yeah.
we gotta pick it up, guys. Whereas if you stay 6th, you're like, oh, I mean, it's it's okay. As tomorrow.
Yeah, DRX are going to be up against APK, so theoretically a better matchup for Dragon X. They've had a bit of a rough week in week 3, and now going to be debuting for this week up against APK. A little bit of a easier matchup there for those guys, and we'll see whether they've emotionally repaired themselves, because honestly, they looked a little bit frazzled after last week's matches.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously awesome players, some of the best that we have, and they've only added some more awesome players in the
But they
in the
are
roster.
volatile. They have younger players, couple of rookies, Carrier and Pioshik have both played well so far.
Yeah.
But they do need to be taken care of. Chovy and Deft have been outspoken in the fact that they have to be the youngs of the team. So
Especially Chovy, who's, super young himself.
yeah, that is very, very true. But that'll do it for tonight. Good night, everyone. We'll see you back again tomorrow with LS and Brendan Valdez.
And I am ready to take it on. You told me to be myself and never feel alone. You're all that I want, you're all that I need. If I was ever in the dark, I'd see. You've always believed and have faith in me. You'll always be my hero. And I'll be for everything you've done. You'll always be my hero. Faith in you like the rising sun. I feel the love, I feel the freedom to be who I can be. You'll always be my hero. You give me everything I You'll always be